Disproving evolution with the law of angular momentum. So the definition of evolution means to get bigger or stronger over a long period of time. But we can also see the effects of God. What about miracles, testimonies? People actually have seen God in their lives because they believed in Him and they prayed.
Okay, this guy you gotta see to believe.
Disproving evolution with the law of angular momentum.
Disproving evolution with the law of angular momentum? How do they come up with these ideas? It makes no sense at all. He might as well try to disprove it with a tennis ball, or a lawnmower, chalkboard, pudding.
This is very similar to the formation of galaxies. Scientists say that galaxies are formed by dust building up in space. If the gravity force is strong enough, the dust will start spinning, and over millions of years, a galaxy will start to form, and all the remaining dust will become planets and stars.
Wow. Where do I begin? Galaxies are not structures which contain stars. Galaxies are formations of stars, and spin is not just caused by a mass's internal gravity, rather by the gravity of another mass that acts on it.
So according to angular momentum, all the planets in our solar system should be spinning in the same direction. But there's a problem. We have a planet called Neptune, which spins on its axis.
Yes. Neptune does spin on its axis. So does everything else that spins. What's your point?
In our galaxy, there are many solar systems that spin clockwise and anti-clockwise.
Yes, in fact, most solar systems don't rotate in the same plane as ours does.
This contradicts the law of angular momentum.
Look, kid, while it is favorable for all objects in our solar system to rotate in the same direction, there are other forces at work. Angular momentum is transferred by gravitational pull or by collisions. However, the energy is always conserved. What you have done here is called a red herring, and a really bad one at that.
There are so many problems with evolution theory. This is why I think evolution is an unreliable and unobservable theory.
But you have not once mentioned evolution. You've just talked about Neptune and the law of angular momentum. Oh, I see. You're just another creationist who can't keep his terms straight. Let's see what else you have.
When you're a Christian and you open your mind to evidence, you'll find it very easy to believe in God and that He is real and He created the universe.
Existence is a relatively simple concept. It is defined as that which consists of either matter or energy. Therefore, if a God exists, it must be composed of either matter or energy.
Okay, it says in John 4:24, God is a spirit, and they that worship Him must worship Him in spirit and in truth. This means that God is a spirit. You can't see Him in the universe because He exists outside of the universe. God is immaterial, which means we don't know what He's made of.
Stop. Just stop. I really hate it when people use the Bible as a reference. That's not evidence. That's an assertion. I can see trying to define something for you will be all but a waste of time, so here's a visual description. This is evidence. This is assertion. This is evidence. This is assertion. Evidence. Assertion. Any of this getting through to you?
We cannot perceive black holes directly, but we know that they exist due to the effects of their gravity wells on surrounding matter.
Yes, but we can also see the effects of God. What about miracles, testimonies? People actually have seen God in their lives because they believed in Him and they prayed. Prayer is the only way you can see God.
This is an even worse argument. If you tell someone, especially naive children, that if they believe hard enough they can have some sort of contact with their deity of choice, some of them will claim to have done so, undoubtedly. This is called a subjective bias. If you want to bring the untestable, supernatural into the realm of the natural, then you must find a way to make it testable.
I'm getting some really strange flux. I've never seen a configuration like this.
But since existence is
After
defined
user Fighting Atheist provided a succinct description of how to define existence, Truthful Christian simply resorted to the exact same subjective bias. You have to believe in God to believe in God.
As I said earlier, the only way you can communicate with God is through prayer. You're completely misrepresenting what Christians are saying, and you're making up your own definitions. I'm a Christian, and every now and then I pray. Sometimes I feel God's presence in my heart. God gave us a brain to think and pray so we could communicate with Him. Miracles happen every day. I had a friend a few years ago who was suffering from cancer, and he was afraid of dying. He told me he had a dream about God talking to him, and the next day he woke up and his cancer was gone. The doctors thought it was a miracle.
You have got to be kidding me. It is pathetic enough to use anecdotal evidence already, but when your anecdotes are such obvious, absolute bullshit, then you simply have no credibility at all. Your username is a complete lie.
Many people redefine God within their own minds as a potential form of matter or energy that has not been discovered yet, or that which could exist in an alternate universe, or...
Fighting Atheists went on to describe why religious apologetics failed to provide a reason to believe in God. And what was Truthful Christian's response? Of course, a Bible verse.
John 3:16. For God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So what this... This is the evolutionary model. Okay, so this is how evolution happens. First off, we have a single-celled organism, and over millions of years, this organism somehow evolved into a monkey. And then this monkey evolved over millions of years by natural selection and evolves into a human. And it stops right there. So the definition of evolution means to get bigger or stronger over a long period of time.
I find it mind-numbingly outrageous that you can presume to speak with such confidence on a topic of which you have absolutely zero education. I'm not even going to bother explaining what is wrong with that last statement. Why would I waste my time providing you with the education you have intentionally denied yourself?
Take a look at this fossilized pine cone. It's a few million years old. Don't believe me? You can go outside and see pine cones which are exactly like this. So where's the evolution that's occurring? It's not occurring. If evolution were true, pine cones would look a lot different. Because this is what a pine cone looked like a few million years ago. And it still looks exactly the same today. Proving that evolution isn't happening, and there's no such thing as evolution. Evolution is just a myth made up by scientists. People nowadays can't think for themselves. They have to rely on scientists. So they're getting second-hand information.
Oh, you got me there. We're such gullible sheep, mindlessly following whatever those silly PhD-carrying researchers preach to us. It's not like anything they've ever produced has ever proven useful. We should think for ourselves and use our own electron microscopes to figure this stuff out.
Many evolutionists say that the Earth is about 13 billion years old.
Oh, so close. That's actually the age of the universe. The age of the Earth is 4.5 billion years old. I guess it really wasn't that close.
And then they say that evolution needs time. What they really mean is that, okay, we can't see evolution happening, so we'll just make up an excuse. And this is, in my opinion, this is very stupid on so many levels, because we've waited 1,000 years, over 1,000 years, and we haven't seen any living organisms evolve. So how can you say that evolution is happening when it's not observable?